All right, so here's my theory on what's going on with these two. And it's just a theory. And no, I don't know them personally. She got together with him after A-Rod cheated on her. Remember this? He cheated with a reality TV star, even though he was with J-Lo. And like that, she was back with Ben Affleck pictured on the yacht. Like that. She was trying to change the narrative in the press. She didn't like J-Lo got cheated on. And of course, the press, to your point earlier, Allie Beth, ran with it. Oh my God, Bennifer, they're back together. Yay, memory lane. Here we go. We're on it. And the whole thing to me, and I said it at the time on the air, seemed very much to me like a PR maneuver, that they were orchestrating the cameras. She orchestrates the cameras everywhere she goes. Let's face it, there are people who are far more famous than Jennifer Lopez who do not get pictured every week going grocery shopping, going to the gym, going out to dinner. I mean, hello, Taylor Swift is probably the most famous woman in the world. We don't see that of her. We don't see it of Julia Roberts. We don't see it of a lot of these Hollywood stars, but we see J-Lo. And by the way, to look at the music industry, Dua Lipa, all these, like all of them, they're way more famous than she is now. But we don't see it. Why? Because they're not calling the paparazzi at every turn saying, please get me, please publish me, please look at me, please give me PR because I'm nothing without attention. And according to these reports in the tabloids, these two have a split over how much attention is enough attention. He doesn't want as much and she wants a never-ending amount. There was a quote, I think, in the Daily Mail of him saying, I realized it's kind of like saying to a fish or to a boat captain, okay, I'll marry you, but I don't really like all the water. And how this is an impossibility for the other person. So that's a quote by him, reportedly. They're denying that they're even having marital problems, for the record. I don't believe that. So to me, this whole thing is an example of the wrong priorities. It's fine to have a career. It's great to have a career. But chasing money, chasing fame, chasing attention from strangers is not the way to a happy life, a happy marriage, a happy parent-child relationship, or just a happy and healthy heart and soul. That's what I see, Britt.
Yeah, I'm laughing because as you were sharing your thoughts, I could only picture Meghan Markle and Harry.
Same,
it's like it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I think that what's sad is some of these people they live for the hit, right? They live for the story and for always being in the news and always being the headline. It's the same spirit of their little engine in order to go needs the fame. It's the same. They should be friends.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. To me, it's just so disheartening because you see the media go along with it. Like, yeah, they're great. And then when we see these problems with their kids, you're like, that's great too. No problem. And there's no article, for example, on what multiple divorces in both of their cases do to children. Nothing, Allie Beth. That will not get covered by the fawning media.
Mm-mm. No, of course, because we keep perpetuating this myth. I mean, the progressive mainstream, of course, the media is a part of that any type of family, no matter how fragmented, no matter how turbulent, is completely fine, that the child is somehow unaffected by it. As long as they have some attachment somewhere, as long as they have some adults that love them somewhere, they'll be fine. When all of the social science data has been telling us for 50 years that kids benefit from intact marriages and an intact family. But in this, to use kind of some terminology that we've been using in this conversation, this God of self mentality that we have in our culture, that you sacrifice everything, everyone else's needs and well-being on the altar of your wants, we get a lot of glorified and trendy narcissism and selfishness that is cast as self-love and self-discovery and self-fulfillment. No, it's just selfishness, and you're allowing other people, namely children, to suffer from that. And I agree, that's a really sad part of the story. Yeah.
This is the entry point. I think this is the proper entry point into the Harrison Butker comments at this graduation event. Taken, out of context, in a vacuum, I will grant he sounds like he is not so pro working wife and mother. But you have to understand, I think, in listening to him, it's a countercultural response. He's trying to rehabilitate a possibility for women that gets dumped on universally in the mainstream media. That's, I think, the context behind this guy's remarks, again, which will go ignored in all the reporting and has on what he said. So he's the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he gave a commencement address to a Catholic university and has been getting excoriated. There are still today pushes and a petition with tens of thousands of names on it to have him fired. There's a real push to get him fired from the Chiefs for comments he made not in his uniform, not while representing the Chiefs, at this Catholic university. Newsflash, Catholics have certain beliefs. Maybe you didn't Google them, before you decided to pass your judgment. But here's in part how he got himself in hot water. SOT 35.
I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother.
He went on to add, it can't be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class, and here he got teary, back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker. Now, this has led to a full meltdown on the left. The Today Show, they were horrified. Maria Shriver with a whole rebuttal. I mean, and the left-wing TikTokers are very upset, Britt, about him telling graduates as of that day, female graduates, what I just said. The best role is homemaker, and you've been sold a bill of goods about, what a career would look like, and motherhood might be okay for you. That's their take on what he said. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Well, you're right. When you isolate comments out of context, you can make it whatever you want it to be. And that's clearly what they're doing. What he spoke is an assault on our modern day narrative that in order to be something in society, you have to go put on the girl boss shorts and leave your kids at home, and that's going to make you a real woman. And it's been the pervasive lie the feminist movement fed us for a very long time. But in it, what that lie did was it said, if you pursue anything other than that, you're less than worthy. Yeah. You'd want to be a mom. You'd want to take on that menial job, really. So I wholeheartedly stand with Butker. I think what he spoke in full context was so beautiful and so grounded in truth and traditional Christian. And that's why they hate it, because it's such an assault on the modern lies. But I would encourage young women everywhere who heard that speech and are caught up in this, like he said, she said right now, to dream with all your heart of the beauty and glory of being a mom. I have achieved so much in my life, and I've held roles, when I was Miss California and first runner-up at Miss USA, and I had tremendous opportunities presented to me. I've lived that, and I can tell you it all pales collectively when I compare it to my role as a wife to my teenage sweetheart and a mom to my two beautiful kids. All of that pales. So I wholeheartedly agree with what he spoke. And I think it's a worthy thing for young women to hear that there is value in being a mom in our modern day.
Allie Beth, you're a working mom. You've got it all. You're doing a show and you've got young kids. What did you think of it? And you're a Christian.
Yes. And you know what? I'm not a Catholic, and there were plenty of things that I probably didn't agree with in what he said. But here's what I don't understand is that other people who disagreed with him a lot more fundamentally than I did, because I agreed with the spirit of everything he said, even if I would take issue with some sentences here or there. I don't understand the absolute freak out and meltdown. I saw people, even women who might consider themselves conservative, saying, Who is he to tell women what to do? We're tired of being bossed around. I'm like, dude, he was giving a speech, as you said, at a Catholic university. He was asked to speak there. He wasn't talking to you. No one forced you to listen to him, to watch him. No one forced you to weigh his words. He's not making you do anything. He is not going to walk into your cubicle and tell you to get pregnant and make him a sandwich. He's not doing that. He has no power over your life. He's sharing a perspective. You can say that you have a different perspective, but for you, I think I saw this on The View, Sarah Haynes or whatever. She was like, oh, if these words are oppressing other people and holding them back, then you're not really walking with Jesus. Lady, he's saying words. He's saying words. You're going to be okay. He has no authority to tell you what to do. He's sharing a traditionally Catholic perspective, and I say good for him.
Let me tell you, as a Catholic, when you get married in the Catholic Church and you do pre-Cana, the premarital counseling with the priest, they make you say you're going to have children. You take a pledge behind the scenes. Yes, I will have kids. And by the way, I've said before, I'm going through this process of getting an annulment so that Doug and I can get married in a Catholic church. And there too, one of the potential grounds for annulling your marriage is you weren't actually committed to having children, or he wasn't actually, it's a principle within Catholicism. Him saying, don't forget to have the children is perfectly in line with what the Catholic Church teaches. So your point about this was a Catholic audience. He was asked to address them as fellow Catholics. Like, I guess that's just not allowed. But it does bother me. Like, my audience knows, obviously, I'm in favor of working women. Very much so. And have done a lot of it myself. But I do hate how any defense of the stay-at-home choice really does get sort of like, you're so provincial. Like, you're so cute. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like the secret underlying judgment seems to be women who stay at home are kind of dumb. Like, they couldn't make it. They couldn't make it. And so it's good to see somebody famous and successful like that saying, no, right on. It's an amazing choice. And let me make you all feel great about it. Yes, even though you just went to college and got a degree and could easily just go right into the professional lane and completely eschew motherhood and being a wife. Like, let me validate it as a great option if you choose to take it, Britt.
Yeah, I think too, with all of this, one thing that really is in like the horizon of all of this is that we hear, live your truth, be bold in your truth. But then as soon as that truth comes in conflict with the narrative in caps, well, not that truth. And we're going to persecute you. And we're going to make sure that you get fired from your job because not that truth.
Can your savings weather an economic storm? Think about what you've put away for the future. Inflation can render cash worthless. Real estate can crash like it did in 2008. Economies built on a mountain of debt can fall like a house of cards. There are very few physical assets you can invest in that can stand the test of time. But gold has withstood as a valued form of money. It's why many people are flocking to it now and why Birch Gold is busier than ever. Through a little-known tax loophole, Birch Gold lets you convert a retirement account into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. And the best part, it doesn't cost you 1 cent out of pocket. To learn more, text MK to 989898 and claim your free info kit on gold. Again, can your IRA or 401k weather an economic storm? If not, consider looking into Birch Gold. Just text MK to 989898 and explore securing your savings today. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.